Now my good friend Dominic Fragomini, I love his name, Stefano Fragomini. We're actually related someplace in do you say pins or pins? P-inch. I don't
want to apologize.
I don't apologize. He's with XPS Consulting and Test Work Services. A lot of people don't understand metallurgy. I don't. We've got one of the most sophisticated centers in the world in Falconbridge, outside of Sudbury. Dominic is the professional engineer that's responsible for promoting it. We thought it would be very important for you to see this because they've become more of a private sector source around the world. And with that, Dominic, let's have you come up. You're welcome to help us off the coffee and keep moving. We're just going to keep moving right through, so we're not going to stop.
Thanks very much, Nick, for the introduction. And I want to apologize for being an engineer. There's other engineers in the crowd, I'm sure, as well. Try to keep it less technical and a bit more general interest. But I do want to talk a little bit about technical horsepower and what it means to businesses, capital projects, operations, and then also talk a bit about XPS because, as Dick mentioned, we're engineers, we're not marketing people. So we've been doing this thing for about almost 10 years now. Based here in Sudbury, and whenever I come to these things, people say, "What do you guys do again? And where are you based? And do you sell your services? Or you're a research and development facility?" And so I'm going to try and clarify that for you today. And if you can tell whoever listens, that'll help us as well, because we are a business. And then, I guess just starting off, what do we mean by technical expertise? And these are just a couple of points. There's many others that would follow this list. Some of it is process knowledge. So many of you are suppliers of services and technology. So that process knowledge is key to delivering value. We have to be able to manage operations of projects, so that's also important. And we have to have the hands-on expertise as well. You're fabricating products, you're implementing them in plants, you need to have the tradesmen, and Mill's presentation was excellent in that. We know Cambria is a source of a lot of innovation. We're also a source of a lot of our future tradesmen in the business, so it's really a key point. And we have to be able to operate plants. Operation of our processes is key, and that's another sort of example of technical expertise. Well, I guess who cares? Well, that is the thing that we hear a lot about when we're talking about change or introducing a way of doing things. And who cares? Where's the value? Where's the bottom line dollar? And I guess this table was from a paper that Ken Thomas, who's a former Kinross Barrick and Hatch guy, presented a few years ago. And it was during the boom time, so you have to realize it's somewhat dated, but you can see that when there isn't an adequate service and supply sector, when there is things that are impacting on project success, you can have a really difficult time. And projects go from being a few $1 billion, which seems mind-boggling just in itself, to multiples of that. So having the technical expertise, having the ability to manage, put in the right processes and deliver value is key to project development and also to operations. And I don't miss anything from Vale or Glencore being here in Sudbury. And I'm a Sudbury boy, I grew up here, so I know Lincoln and Falconbridge and all the history. So we're not immune to these types of things. We just don't have I just didn't put the statistics down. I don't want to pick on Barrick. They do have a couple of key projects that they've studied and tried to change. So what are the factors that contribute to some of this capital cost inflation? And some of it is supply and demand on the equipment and engineering side. You can think about a few years ago trying to find people, trying to find engineering, or trying to get engineering done, trying to supply service. It was difficult. It's different now, but it was difficult then. So capital costs went up because it was more expensive to deliver some of these services. Location, we're blessed. We have to look around the table here. We're blessed if we're doing business in Northern Ontario. Despite the fact that we do have challenges, there's some places in the world where the location is and the cultures are hugely challenging. So that's contributing. Increase in environmental regs, I think many of us have experience with that, and talking to Duncan a little bit earlier on, he'll be a presenter later in the day. He can perhaps talk a bit more about that as well. A lot of community relations that sort of increase in costs. The last two bullets on that slide, though, I think are underestimated. And being a metallurgist, we do look at metallurgy as a source of opportunity and risk. And metallurgical complexity has really increased because ore grades have dropped. We have to do more to get value out of the ore. And it's more complex. And there may not be the technical expertise to service that need. And also the availability of qualified resources. And again, Emil's presentation is very timely in that we need the qualified resources to be able to service our future needs. I just present a couple, I can't think of an engineer, so I have to present graphs, right? So I have to, again, apologize for that. But the upper slide is a commodity price index since about the early 60s. And you can see that over time it has increased, but it really moved in the mid-2000s, and we remember that period, with the exception of the GFC, which is that little blip halfway through. And I guess what's interesting is that the degrees granted in mining and minerals, mineral processing and metallurgy also went up around that same time. So I guess the boom times spur a lot of interest in getting into the mining industry. Certainly salaries help. When young people go in to select a discipline, they look at what they're going to be paid, and when times are good, salaries go up. They see that as an opportunity. I guess the one area that's perhaps less appreciated is sort of the late 80s, early 90s, where it was tougher in the mining industry, and there was a lot fewer graduates during that time frame. So I guess I could, and this is not a thesis, this is just a thought, that time in the early 90s where we would have been graduating, and it's the same statistics exist for technicians, technologists, and tradesmen as well. We just weren't graduating people who went into the mining industry. I can remember people saying mining is a sunset industry, right? What are you going into the mining industry for? It's dead. And there was less interest to take these courses. Now, 15 years later, when there's a requirement to build some of these operations, qualified people are tough to find. By qualified, I mean experience, not necessarily educated, because I think we're doing a great job educating our young people and giving them the tools, and they are super intelligent and able to tackle just about anything. I guess I'm referring to the gray hair and just the years of experience working in the industry. So that could be a factor. What about operation support? And operation support is key to the service that we deliver. And once you build a plant, then we need to run it. And I have a couple of pretty neat stories. And this comes from a mentor of mine, Joe Pease, who used to run Extrata Technology in Brisbane. He told these stories in a couple of presentations. So I'm stealing some of those stories. There was an archaeological dig somewhere in the Philippines, and the archaeologists started to dig for artifacts. And they used a local workforce, which was underutilized and in need of some economic development. So they used a local workforce to help in this archaeological dig, and they were really, really happy with the number of finds they were digging out of the ground. But then where they were disappointed was that everything seemed to be broken. So there was a bowl, or there was a vase, or a flask, or a vase, and broken. And you couldn't figure out why, because they thought that many of them should have been recovered intact. Until someone asks, how do they get paid? And the answer was they get paid by the piece. So having the right KPIs, key performance indicators, is really critical when you're running a plant, because you could be, you're looking for grade and recovery or costs, but you really have to be careful because you'll have people trying to achieve a KPI, which is just not properly. Similar sort of story. A town in New South Wales that were trying to preserve their trees. They elected an environmentally conscious local government, and the local government passed a resolution that no trees under or over a certain size would be cut down. But they gave people about a month or so to address it. And all you heard was chainsaws. People concerned about property values dropping and the tree falling on their home. So the KPI had exactly the opposite. So just a couple of interesting stories about KPIs. So we have the impact on capital costs, we have the impact on operations, with the right technical expertise to find KPIs. So I guess cutting to the chase, how do we fix this? And you know, the question is, where did our technical horsepower go? And the answer, I think, is it didn't go anywhere. I think it's right here. It's in places like our business, and I want to talk a bit about our business in a few minutes. But it's also within the Samsung Group, and I congratulate Dick on his success in putting this together, because many of us that lived here in Sudbury 25, 30 years ago remember a time when a lot of the technical expertise was embedded within the two major mining companies. And now it's disseminated, but it's still here. So I think we need to look to our supplier base and to our engineering services, and of course to our operations. That's where the technical horsepower is. So it's here. We just have to look for it and use it. So I guess getting to XPS, being one of a Samsung company and an organization that can provide some of this expertise. We're not a research and development organization. We used to be. We're not anymore. Since 2007, we were part of Falconbridge in 2007, and I guess that logo was, I had my tattoo removed. It was really painful, actually. But many of us remember Falconbridge. There's been a history there. We started as a corporately funded research group. We were acquired by Strata in 2007, and then Glencore in 2013. And in 2007, XPS, now XPS, was converted to a business. So look, you guys are doing good work. You have a great facility, you have great people, but there's no money for research and development, so we have to sell our services. So that's what we did, and we've been running in that model since then. We you know, I say we don't get anything from our corporate owners. We do. We get work, but you know, they pay for it, just like our original companies do. So it's really important for you to recognize that, and this type of service is available to you as well, as a supplier base and also as an operating units. I'm going the wrong way. So XPS is based in Falconbridge. This is a picture of what used to be the Falconbridge Technology Center. It's a 6,000 square foot facility. We're metallurgists. We do process mineralogy, which is basically mineral processing. So we work in the mills, the concentrators, so Strathcona and Carville Mill. We do a lot of plant support. We do startups. We started up Orico's Young Davidson a few years ago. We were just at the Eagle mine in Michigan for Lundin. We're doing Trevally right now. We're based in New Brunswick, so we do a lot of plant support and startup. We do smelting, so smelters make use of our services, a lot of pyro capability there. Process control, implementation of control, so we're process engineers who do control. And we also do materials technology, which may be of interest to many of you here, in that wear prevention, failure analysis. We have a laboratory that can do failure analysis, so if you have equipment failures, we can diagnose why it happened, whether there's a corrosion issue, whether there's a wear issue. So this is all based in Sudbury, a short drive out of the city into the town of Falconbridge. Mine is easy to do that. Who are some of our clients and where have we gone over the last 7, 8 years? In 2008, more than 50% of our business was Glencore nickel, or the nickel operations here in Sudbury. By 2012, we had moved to over 60% external, so more than 60% of our business being sold externally. 2014, with a reduction in some of the activity in the junior mining sector, we're down to closer to about 50-50. Some of the logos of the mining and engineering companies that we work with are on the screen, so you recognize many of them. Barracks, Valley, Hudbay, just doing a major job for Hudbay right now. KGHM here in Sudbury, and a few of the other local engineering companies. So we do a significant amount of work, not only in nickel, but in gold and rare earths and the copper business. And I really apologize for that. I think I'm moving in the right direction. Where do we work? Around the world. We have projects in 25 countries around the world. We've either been there or we get sample material from there to run our tests in the laboratory. And we've helped them start the plant. So 25 countries around the world, really in every continent. We're doing a few things in China right now at the beginning stages. We're doing a major project in Kazakhstan next year. So we do have a global presence. Safety and health, obviously key. We've had an excellent run, and we're working in the plant. We haven't had any lost time injuries for over 10 years, more than a year and a half without any reportables. So we're proud of that success. In terms of the groups, I'll just briefly go through. In process mineralogy, I mentioned we do mineral processing, so it's concentrator support. We also have a very sophisticated laboratory for ChemScan analysis, which is scanning electron microscope analysis. That ChemScan technology has been a fixture of XPS since the mid-90s, and we have over 50 years of experience in delivering solutions based on mineralogy. And that's a combination of businesses for many places. Extractive metallurgy, that's the smelting unit. We have quite a bit of work in the Ring of Fire with KWG and with Normont. We think we've got a process, early stages, but we think we've got a process that can really change the business case there on the electrical energy side, which is one of the keys to success there. There's a lot of other issues there in terms of access to infrastructure, building the infrastructure to get into the Ring of Fire, but we're certainly making a lot of progress with this group on Ring of Fire and improving the business case on the processing side. The materials technology group I mentioned already, a key part of the team and some experience there that we won't find anywhere else in the world. They're pulled into acid plant inspections and failure analysis, and also in fabrication and quality assurance of fabrication. So also a key point of interest there. And our process control team is based in our operating plants as well as doing external work to optimize their processes. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I mean, we have the technical expertise here at Sudbury. We deliver value both internally and externally. I think the technical horsepower generally is disseminated across groups like ours, but certainly in the supplier base and also in the operating plants. So we have it. We just have to go get it. And some of the people that are currently working in our group, you may recognize some names. Virginia Lawson was a valet for many years. She's with our group. Phil Thwaites in process control for 35 years in process solutions. Wilson, who runs the materials technology group, he's 25, 30 years. So there's a significant amount of expertise based right here in Sudbury. And that's all I have. I thank Nick and Main Group for giving me the opportunity to talk to you today. And looking forward to any questions you have.
Got a few minutes. Any questions, clarifications, understandings? We did such a good job.
Well, I guess we did too much of a sales pitch, but I guess given a microphone and an opportunity to talk to you, I couldn't resist it. And as I say, we need all the assistance we can get in getting the word out. There is a mineral processing congress that's being held next year in September. It's in Quebec City. I'm part of the organizing committee for that. There's going to be mineral processing engineers and suppliers from around the world. There's a trade show here as well. If you're interested in promoting your products and services and sponsoring, please let me know. I can help in getting your name out there. It's going to be well attended, again, from international companies around the world. So hope to see you there. Thanks.